Did you know that Aliens came out back in 1986? More than 30 years ago. That is how long we've been waiting for another good alien film. And the wait continues. Hey guys, the Black Critic Guy, and I'm so fucking exhausted right now. You have no idea. I can barely keep my eyes open. And it's not because it's late at night right now. It's because I had to slog through a really slow, forgettable, boring, and excruciatingly daunting film called Alien Covenant, aka Prometheus. Here we go with this shit again. So to perfectly summarize the premise of this film, take all the bad elements of Prometheus and have it rape the entirety of the original Alien film. That's the premise. So just imagine that Prometheus is a face hugger and the original Alien film is a human body, and it just whacks right onto the original Alien film and tries to inject its shittiness into that film. Boom. Alien Covenant. Now this film is a sequel to Prometheus as well as being a prequel to Alien. So basically, it's the worst of both worlds here. And you know what? To be perfectly honest with you guys, I was really looking forward to this. I love the trailers. I thought it was atmospheric. It looked really good. It looked promising. But then I remembered, so did the trailers for Prometheus. Those trailers were really well executed and they were atmospheric. They looked great. They had the intensity, the spirit of the original Alien film. I thought that film was going to be great too. And it turned out to be okay. It was decent. It wasn't painfully bad, but it didn't live up to the expectation. This one is very similar, but a bit more terrible. But okay, let's take a break from bashing this film and actually address some of the good elements to it. First off, and this really should go without saying in this day and age, but the visuals look stellar, breathtaking, and were very well polished. On a visual perspective, this film looks incredible and had some excellent cinematography. But then again, so did Prometheus. Honestly, it doesn't really mean much to say that a blockbuster had incredible visuals. I mean, we come to expect that in this day and age. That's like going to a building and praising the fact that the lights look good. I mean, you kind of expect a building to have some solid lighting, just like you always expect a big blockbuster film to have some solid, if not incredible, visuals. The performances range from pretty dull to serviceable. Nothing really god-awful or atrocious, but they didn't really stand out that much to me, with one exception, and that is, of course, my man, Michael Fassbender. I mean, the man can do no wrong acting-wise. When it comes to his film choices, I mean, come on, Michael Fassbender. Prometheus, X-Men Apocalypse, Assassin's Creed, Alien Covenant. I mean, come on, man, you're an incredible actor. You deserve to be in better films. Why do you keep settling for schlock? Why do you keep settling for these below average films? You're better than the material that you're given, man. I mean, hell, you even take this weak material and actually find a way to make it pretty good. Like, all the scenes with Michael Fassbender in them are the best scenes in this film. In fact, his character, Walter, is the most interesting character in this film. And also, strangely enough, the most human character in this film. And he's a fucking robot! The most human character in the film is a robot. Wrap your brain around that. I just cannot believe that right now. But really, Michael Fassbender stole every scene he was in. He was incredible. And his character, Walter, as I mentioned before, is a great character. And he has this interaction with this other character. Those scenes were really good. If the entire film was just about Walter interacting with this other character and kind of like the clashing of ideologies between these two characters, I think this film could have worked. It just gets padded and dragged down by all the other shit that's a part of it. And yeah, that's pretty much all I really liked about the film. The rest... The absolute worst thing about this film was its god-awful and painful pacing! My goodness, it was slow as fuck! The fucking tortoise from the hare and the tortoise could outrun the pacing of this film. This film is 2 hours long. It felt like it was 5. I was sitting there in this film and I'm like, my God, can something just happen already? Oh my God! Like for the first 30 minutes, guys, nothing of significance happens in this film. It's just a bunch of characters that you don't care about on this spaceship talking to each other and not really building much of character. And it just goes on and on and on, and you're just waiting for them to get to the cool shit. You want to see the alien, but it takes you for goddamn ever to get there. And it didn't help that the characters in these slow-ass scenes are so boring and generic and lacking in any sort of personality or intrigue. I mean, they're just stark characters that are there to do one thing and one thing only. Fucking die. They're all expendable and you don't give a shit about a single one of them. I was sitting there actually thinking to myself, like, what about these characters really stood out to me? Besides, of course, Michael Fassbender's character, what about all the other characters? What about Billy Crudup's character? What do you know about him? He's apparently an extremist, and he has faith, I believe, and he takes on the captain role, and he's a very strict captain, and that's it. That's all you get about that character. Catherine Waterston's character, who's apparently supposed to be the main character, that's supposed to be the one we're rooting for, she spends most of this movie just like, oh, I'm sad. I'm dreary. I barely saw her crack a smile. This woman is so dreary and dull. And I understand that something terrible happened to her, or she experienced something terrible at the beginning of this film, so her dour mood makes sense. But goddamn, woman, just cheer up a little bit. Can't you have a sense of adventure? Can't you at least show a bit of personality besides being sad and depressed? And I told you not to do that, man. And she's supposed to be the main heroine, you know, the badass female character. The Ripley, if you could even compare her to... No, in fact, you know what? I crossed that out. That is an unjust comparison to Ripley, because Ripley is an incredible, dynamic, interesting, fun, and badass character, whereas Catherine Waterston's character, whose name I don't even... What was her name? I don't remember her name. That's how forgettable her character is. She's not a badass. She's not cool. I didn't care at all for her. I was never invested in her or any of the characters. Tennessee, you know, I kind of like Tennessee, but I think the only reason I like Tennessee is because Danny McBride played Tennessee. And how is it that you cast a comedic actor and yet he does barely anything funny in the film? He had one funny line, sort of a funny line. I think it's the only bit of comedy I actually got from the character, where he's like in space and he makes this one quip. That one funny line is the only time that Danny McBride is funny in this film. And he's the only character besides, of course, Michael Fassbender's character, Walter, that I actually remember. It's Tennessee, Walter. That's all I remember. What other characters do you remember? There's these bunch of female characters that are expendable, these other male characters that die instantaneously. Damien Bashir is in it for like a split second to say a couple lines. These characters are just, they're no colonial Marines, you know, they're not like the Marines in Aliens. They're not fun characters, and they're not the characters from Alien that we actually sympathized with and were connected with. These are stark characters that only serve to die. They're only in the film to die, and that's it. There's no personality to them, no character traits, no development, nothing. They're generic cannon fodder characters. That's it. And that's not the type of characters you need in this fucking film. You're actually supposed to care whether or not they live or they die. If you don't care about that, guess what? They're fucking terrible! Now, the story of the film could have worked. It had loads of potential to it, especially with all the twists, turns, and interesting and complex ideas and concepts it presented throughout. But the poor execution and direction, along with the terrible characters, just bogs it down and turns it into just a watered down version of the original Alien story, just with less enthralling and engaging and likable characters and less fun, thrilling, exciting, intense, and suspenseful, memorable scenes. And I haven't even gone to all the stupid and bizarre ass shit that happens in this movie, a lot of which were unintentionally funny. I mean, from characters doing some of the most moronic things I've ever seen in a sci-fi film. I mean, seriously, there's a scene where a character enters a room that they know is dangerous, they should never have opened the door to begin with, and starts walking in holding a gun, and then they slip. Whoop, whoop, whoop. I felt like I was watching a Looney Tunes cartoon. Like, seriously, you slipped? Hell, there's even this one scene where a character, just like in the first film, Prometheus, where they decide to, like, touch things that they shouldn't be touching. This guy touches this one orb-looking thing and then gets infected by something. I'm like, you're a fucking genius, you know that? Yeah, let's touch a foreign organism in a planet that we've never been to and have no idea what is on this planet. Yeah, let's just go touching around. That seems intelligent to me, to one of the most bizarre things I think I've ever seen in a sci-fi film. That's saying a lot. There's a scene where one character kisses another character, and as much as I understood the meaning of this scene, it was just all sorts of, what the fuck did I just see? My audience was laughing hysterically. We didn't know how to feel about this scene. Again, I understood, for the most part, what this scene was trying to do. It just looked weird. It just looked wrong. Hell, I'm still in denial by what I saw. I can't fucking believe it. I will say this. That is probably the most memorable scene I've seen all year in a film. That one scene. I don't know if anything will ever top it, honestly. And finally, the action scenes were not all that thrilling or exciting to watch. There's just no weight to these action scenes. They're pretty lackluster, if I'm to be completely honest. I wasn't invested in the action scenes. I never found it intense or exciting, and it's mainly due to the fact that I didn't feel any sort of tension in the action, nor did I really care about the characters surviving their dilemma. You know, what really enhances an action scene is where you actually empathize with the characters in the action scene, and you actually feel the weight of what they're going through. You feel the intensity from the action, and you want them to succeed. Here in this film, the characters could have died for all I cared, and I wouldn't care. It would not leave any sort of impact. Hell, there are multiple action scenes in this film where characters just straight up get killed, and I'm like, oh well, there goes that character. And I know I'm not supposed to feel that way. I need to feel like, oh damn, that character died. Damn, that character died. God, he had such a promising life ahead of him. Oh, I really cared about that character, but no, I didn't care. There's just no weight to these action scenes, and they're all executed the same. There's no real flair to them. They don't really pop out. They don't really stand out. So overall, to conclude this impromptu rant, Alien Covenant was such a huge fucking disappointment to me, and it fails on all levels. It fails as an intriguing sci-fi film, it fails as an intense action film, it fails as a horror film. In fact, it doesn't even feel like a horror film, it's more like a pseudo-horror film that has some hints of horror elements, but never fully goes all the way. And worst of all, It fails as a fateful addition to the Alien franchise, and it should be ashamed of itself. It shouldn't even be a part of this franchise, as it is definitely an unnecessary waste of time. And it pains me to say that. I was looking forward to this film. I thought it was going to be good. And then I saw it. And it wasn't good. And it's not worth your time. But as always, guys, I'm not the end-all be-all opinion when it comes to Alien Covenant. I'm sure there might be a handful of you out there that might actually enjoy this film and think that it is worth checking out. So I would love to know what you guys thought about the film. Did you absolutely adore it? Is it one of your favorite installments to the Alien franchise? Or were you like me and found it to be a complete and utter disgrace to the franchise and a huge fucking disappointment all around? And let me know... Fuck, I don't know. What's your favorite Alien film? Boom, there's your question for the day. Comment below, let me know. Oh, I'm so fucking tired. Can you guys tell that I'm tired? It's been a long day, and the fact that I had to end it with a shitty film did not help whatsoever. So, there's that. Stay tuned. I got some videos coming your way. Maybe another anime review. Who knows? But anyway, guys, if you'd like to support the Black Critic Guy just a smidge more, why not donate to my Patreon account? There is a link in the description. And if you'd like sending me fan letters, send to this P.O. box right up here. And if you'd like to be a part of the Black Critic crew and not miss out on a single awesome video, please hit that subscribe button below. Like this video if you really enjoyed it. And I'm talking about this second, just really exhausted as the Black Critic Guy. Till then, peace, you too.